audience here present and viewers out there, welcome to Ahili's Talk Show. Many thanks to God. Vivid view.
Say and do it.
Ahili's Corner. Examine the contents and not the bottle. Say something, somebody.
My name is Moses Mosu. What I understand by the word examine the content and not the bottle is have a personal understanding. Do not defend or judge somebody or something from a distance or people's opinion. Go close, have a personal relationship with it, understand it before you go for or against it. Thank you.
It means that we should not view person based on the first view, but we should get to know the person properly before we make our judgment.
My name is Mark David Gosu. I believe by the topic, examine the content and not the bottle, that one is supposed to be careful to understand that what gives life is not the container, but what is in the container. So we should be careful enough to scrutinize, know what the qualities one is made of before we associate with that person. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contributions. For me, Ahili's, I would say that examine the contents and not the bottle is looking into issues critically without blames. Some people will not address issues the way they are. They start looking for crime. They will say, this is the person that did it, this person that did that, because of this one happened. But if you look at issue critically, then nip it at the bud, put a stop to it and correct and move on. Because it's just like saying, chasing the shadow, leaving the substance. It's likened to this. So we need to look at issues the way it is. It could be in the family setting, it could be in the office, it could be in government parastatal. Let's look at issues and face it, nip it at the bud. They don't allow it to escalate. For instance, we allow kidnapping to escalate in Nigeria, and now it becomes a norm in Nigeria. That's one of the things. But if you look at issue, what really caused this, and not trying to say, cut corners, looking at it, viewing from the outside, is the content you look at, the liquid, what you want to consume. Not only the bottle. The bottle, which is the container, could be beautiful, could be fine in the eye, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is what you expected to chase after, what you expected to do before any other thing. So we'll continue with this program. Indeed, there are vital areas where we should have been more concerned in our nation building and development. But no, we either pay little or no attention to such areas. The topic for today's discussion is millions out of school children and the implications. The guests will introduce shortly after this break. Please don't go away. Vivid view.
Say and do it.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the topic we are considering today is millions out of school children and implications. And with me in the studio is a known face. Let's make welcome Alhaja Shekina Lawal.
Vivid view.
Say and do it.
Please, before discussion proper, follow us on social media handles as displayed on the screen. Alhaja, nice having you again.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Here,
You're welcome. Can we quickly go to the perspectives of the subject matter?
When we talk about out-of-school children, definitely this should be of concern to everybody. Reason being that in 2020, what UNESCO gave us, the data we have like 10.5 million out-of-school children. Funny enough, in 2022, UNICEF gave us a data that has increased. We have almost 20 million out-of-school children now.
That's times 2.
Yeah. And for any right-thinking government, any right-thinking person, we should all be worried, because the best investment we can have as a nation, not only as a family, but as a nation, is education. Because when our youth, when they are properly educated, it rubs off on the economy, the society. All this security situation we are talking about will be a thing of the past, because education is very key. Education is important. Unfortunately, what we have presently, it calls for concern to all well-meaning individuals and even as government at all level, from local government to state and the national level.
Thank you so much. The importance of education can never be overemphasized. Now, obviously, there are challenges confronting our educational system.
Yes.
Mention some of them, please.
Of course, we have so many reasons why we have millions of out-of-school children. One of them being poverty. Though in some instances, I always tell people that that should not be, an excuse, because when we consider the importance of education, we will know that whatever it takes, we must give it. So when we are talking about people being poor, that's why their children are out of school. I always tell them that that should not be an excuse. Though this has to be looked at from various perspectives, because when we have schools in faraway places where children will have to trek long distance before they get to school, definitely by the time those children get to school, they will be tired. Some of them might not even have taken breakfast before leaving home. So their level of concentration in class will be a serious one. Yeah. And the issue of insecurity is another reason. Many parents are, especially in some parts of the country, they are scared of allowing their children to go to school because there is no school around them. These children will have to go long distances before they get to school. So some people give the issue of security as no. But to me, I will also say ignorance is a key one here. It's a big problem. Because even if you are poor, if you know the value of education, you know that whatever it takes, I must give it all I have. And we know that all hands have to be on deck because it's not about parents alone now, though the first responsibility is that of the parents. But we also expect government, because we've had various policies, really. Universal basic education, the national education policy, gender equality education. We have so many global, policies that has to do with education. Unfortunately, what we are good at in this part of the country, we are good at signing those, policies without implementation. Action is the problem now. When they sign those policies, they will say Nigeria is also a signatory to this. But in the actual implementation aspect, what are we getting? That also dovetails into poor funding. In terms of educational funding in this country, we are still far off. Unfortunately, Nigeria is one of the countries that is, educationally disadvantaged. When we compare our population to some other countries, it's only Nigeria, I think India and China. But when we look at their own, they still find a way of ensuring that their youths, they are, captured. Yeah. Even if it is in terms of technical education, that's why we have all these, computer literacy, phone making, right from tender age. They've taken up these children, teaching them young. But that is not what we have here. So we are hoping that with more funding for education, like now, the global funding expected from education should be about 20-25% of the total budget of the country. But what we have presently is less than 14%. And that is a far cry from what is expected of us. We have so many children now, and when I talk about government policy, when we make a policy, we don't usually implement it. You say you don't want to see children during school hours, hawking, but you still see all these children around hawking, and nothing is being done. So it is a whole lot of issue. It's an holistic thing that we really need to look into. I'm sure we will all agree with me that the best investment we can give anybody is education. Once they are educated, they will be able to take the right decision. They will not be lured into all these, Boko Haram, kidnapping, all manners of crimes. Because when they are educated, they will be able, with the required skills, they've had the required knowledge that will bring out their potentials, and they will be able to, at least as a person in life, do something meaningful with their life. And another key important thing is the fact that out of the over 200 million population, we have large percentage of the population who are, youth, children in that category. So, and that's why we have to really be more focused in terms of prioritizing investment in education. Is very, very key. Apart from the insecurity, apart from poverty, I think ignorance and commitment on part of our government at all levels, we really need to do something about that.
Thank you so much. That's why I just kept quiet. My mind was just, thinking a lot of things, because this issue is not new.
Exactly.
This now, in our budget, as, giving us less than 25%, 14, as you said
14.
now, in education is so bad. It looks as if they don't even, they don't understand what we're talking about education. But very unfortunately, they too they have some education, so they don't want others to learn, and that is too sad. I really felt cold as we're just discussing that, because it has been on and on and on. We have talking about this education. Give our people education. They need it, and therefore we expect in our budget for you to even have the highest percentage in our budget. So please, our government, listen to this and let's solve this problem once and for all. Let's nip it at the bud and solve it once and for all. Let's look at the content, not the bottle. We are tired of looking at the bottle instead of the content. We are just tired of it. Okay, we'll take a break now. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
This is Vivid View.